So Miami really struggled with Tennessee, and they should have won the game. But it's a physical team giving Miami problems. Is that what the tape is saying? Is they're more a finesse team and physicality disrupts their offense?
Well, I thought that Shane Bowen, their D coordinator, did a masterful job of playing Miami tactically exactly how you have to play them. When you play Miami, you actually start on the back end, not the front end. Because what you need to do is you need to create doubt in Tua so that when he hits his back foot, he doesn't have that first window throw between the numbers. That is absolutely critical. So you start on the back end with a lot of late rotation, a lot of creative looks after the ball is snapped, and you prevent Tua from hitting his back foot and delivering the football. Then your pass rush becomes a factor, and it has to be a four-man pass rush. So they approached it exactly the right way, and they executed at a really high level. And for those watching the game, they probably saw that Tua did not have a lot of those timing rhythm throws that we're used to seeing when they're playing well, because they took them away on the back end. So you remember, Colin, those quick drops, pass rushers are going to get there if that works. So that's why you start on the back end when you play the Dolphins, not with your pass rush.
All right, let's get to the good teams here.
Ooh. Why are local reporters and YouTubers who cover the Miami Dolphins lying to you? You just heard Greg Cosell from NFL Films breaking down the Miami Dolphins offense. And for those of you who don't know, he's not a hater. The man has worked with NFL Films for over 40 years and has probably watched more game film than all of us combined. When this interview came out, the Tua nuts had no choice but to try and attack him and denigrate this guy who's got impeccable credentials. He's one of the most highly regarded producers in all of NFL history. They really made themselves look like the morons that they really are by trying to attack Greg Cosell. Like most of us who break down game film, it's quite easy to see where the problem is with the Miami Dolphins offense. And the problem lies in Mike McDaniel's scheme. It's way too predictable. Basically what you see when you really zero in on the film is that the Miami Dolphins offense gets lost when it's forced to slow down.
When we speak with them and ask, hey, there's a couple games that you guys have bogged down on offense, Philadelphia being one, Buffalo, why? To a man, every one of them says when our operation gets slow in and out of the huddle. When our operation gets slow at the line of scrimmage, because there's a lot going on. They're trying to get into perfect plays.
And if you have the personnel, which playoff caliber teams do, you just focus on what the film is showing you. One, you can easily see that this offense is too reliant, overly reliant on Tyreek Hill.
The Dolphins are 8-0 when Tyreek gets 100+ receiving yards. They are 1-4 when he's less than 100 receiving yards. Look at the next stat, points per game. 38.6 when he's 100+, 20.4 when he's under 100.
I've been telling people over and over, a stat just keeps jumping off the page. And that stat is that Tua's yardage, 40+% of everything Tua does goes directly to Tyreek Hill. And secondly, everything with the Miami Dolphins is predicated on Tua having a very fast release. What you saw against the Titans, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Kansas City was both of those things being attacked. Obviously, in the Titans game, Tyreek was pretty much irrelevant because of his injury, but you did see the Titans shut down Tua's quick release. And of course, because of Mike McDaniel's overly intensive reliance upon Tyreek Hill, the offense sputtered.
Watching that game last night, you felt when Tyreek went out, it was almost hey, our playbook is the Cheesecake Factory with him, you know? And then when he goes away, it felt like we're now 5 guys. There's like 3 or 4 options for us to get to.
Those good options.
Despite all of the information to the contrary, the local sports reporters and YouTubers who cover the Miami Dolphins completely engage in a propaganda campaign to gaslight the Miami Dolphins fan base. And they moved swiftly. One guy said, "Don't blame Tua," before the game was even over. They moved so fast, they didn't even wait to watch the film. The propaganda was almost instantaneous, and it continues to this day. And many of the Dolphins orcs out there continue to regurgitate the same stuff over and over and over, and I've just had it. The offensive line caused us to lose. Bullshit. But just like in war, propaganda works. Keep telling the same lie over and over and over, and then hopefully the population begins to believe it, or in this case, the fan base. Well, I've had enough, and I think it's time to expose these charlatans for the propagandists that they are. The Miami Dolphins offensive line, while maybe a contributing factor, was not the cause of the Miami Dolphins' loss to the Titans. That is absolutely false. It's a straight out lie. It is merely a propaganda campaign being waged against Miami Dolphins fans. While the Miami Dolphins offensive line is indeed decimated and has been injured most of the year, it is not the reason for the loss against the Titans. I remember way back, like maybe 2 weeks ago, when everybody was touting that Tua had the fastest release of all quarterbacks, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 seconds. It's amazing. Tua's release, he's got the fastest release in the league. You've heard it. Do you remember that? Do you remember people saying that Tua had an amazing release time? It's the best in the NFL. Everybody was talking about his release time. But why, in the last week, has everybody stopped talking about that? You won't find any mention of it anywhere. They simply stopped talking about it like it never happened and it was never a factor. Why is that?
Tua Tagovailoa has been one of the least pressured quarterbacks in football because he's able to get the ball out so quickly and downfield. And he's able to do that in large part because of the presence of Tyreek Hill. Not just because he gets open quickly, Dan, but because when he is on the field, it completely dictates how defenses play them. When you take him off, suddenly the picture can be muddled, guys can be covered up, and you get Tua holding onto the ball just a tick longer. But just that tick longer is why he was pressured on 44% of snaps, which was by far the most he's been pressured this season.
I'm going to prove to you in this video, just like Greg Cosell said, that the offensive line isn't the problem. The problem is that Mike McDaniel's scheme has been 100% found out. It's completely exposed. The blueprint is out there. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to lose to the Jets. Doesn't mean they're going to lose to the Cowboys. Doesn't mean they're going to lose to everybody. What it does mean is that people with personnel have the ability to execute to stop this offense. Louis Riddick said in a tweet that the Titans' defensive scheme was basically to force Tua to throw outside the numbers and cut off anything coming across the middle. Louis Riddick said, pass defense game plan against Monday night, defend numbers to numbers, defend inside out, try to make the ball go outside. Change the picture post-snap, disguise your coverage, resulted in the third lowest net pass yards for Miami offense this season. Safety play was very, very well coordinated. Excellent overall plan by Mike Vrabel and DC defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. So the question I would have is, why didn't Mike adjust? Why did he just keep running the same thing over and over, expecting Tua to have a different result? Especially if Tyreek Hill wasn't on the field. You see, it's become obvious at this point that defenses know stop Tua's first read. Stop that first read and slow everything down. On Monday night, Eli and Peyton were talking about everything, and they said Tua wants to come back, plant that back foot, and throw in under 2.5 seconds. That didn't happen in the 4 losses. And that's why everybody has stopped talking about Tua's amazingly quick release time, because teams have begun to figure it out to make Tua not throw in 2.3, 2.4 seconds, but to rather make him pull the ball down. Then the vulnerabilities with the offensive line are exposed. The Titans were able to take away Tua's first read. Kansas City was able to take away Tua's first read. Buffalo was able to take away Tua's first read. The Philadelphia Eagles were able to take away Tua's first read. You see the pattern? Anyone who's actually looked at the game films can actually see what happens when you take the first read away from Tua. He pulls the ball down and struggles to find the next read. Is he capable of doing it? Yes, but he's become so reliant on Tyreek that it's not natural. It's uncomfortable. And that's what you want to do with Tua. You want to make him uncomfortable. Because when Tua doesn't throw within that 2.3, 2.4 seconds, he gets uncomfortable and the offensive line then becomes vulnerable. And that's where the problems begin for Miami. Like Greg Cosell said, you don't stop the Miami Dolphins by your play up front. However, The defensive backs, if they can get Tua to get off of his first read, it allows the 4 guys up front to possibly get home and cause havoc. But everything gets triggered by the play of your defensive backs. I know there's a lot of people who don't want to hear it. They don't even want to listen to it. They don't want to see it. They prefer to just have blinders on and think everything's fine, but it's out there and you've seen it happen over and over and over again, 4 different times. You can't ignore it. It's just a crutch. It's too easy to just put it on the offensive line, but it's not true. It's a lie. This offensive line, they knew back in April, was not going to be a traditional offensive line and wouldn't be a traditional blocking scheme. They only expected the people up front to hold people off for 3 or 4 seconds to give Tua that 2.3, 2.4 seconds to be able to throw the ball. If they could do that, which just about any lineman should be able to hold somebody off for 2 or 3 seconds, then Tua should be fine hitting his first read. Stop that first read, and then all of a sudden everything collapses. Against some of the lesser teams, what was happening was the offensive line was sufficient to hold the line. They were able to keep people off of Tua for 3 and 4, maybe even 5 seconds. He wasn't even touched, allowing him to take that 2.5 second release and hit Tyreek anywhere on the field. That's not happening now. The entire offense was built and predicated on 2 things. 1, Tyreek's obvious advantage with his speed, and 2, Tua getting the ball out extremely fast. When one or both of those aren't there, so now you know what happens when Tua is not allowed to hit that plant foot and throw right away. All hell breaks loose. That's when the Miami Dolphins offense is in trouble. And against the Titans, it was amplified because Tyreek was off the field. But as I mentioned, that's the other problem. Every defensive coordinator in the league understands that they overly rely on Tyreek Hill. Remember, almost 42% of Tua's passing yards are specifically to Tyreek. But now, let me show you clear proof of everything I've just said. Let me show you that it wasn't the offensive line like everybody has been saying. Those of you who don't want to believe, you're going to see it firsthand. But you can choose not to believe if you want, but it's right there in front of you. The film doesn't lie. However, what's going to be proven is that other people are lying, and they're lying to you.
You guys ready for some coaching session? All right, so I'm going to play this the entire way through. I'm not going to say anything. And I want you guys just to listen to what Baldy says, how he says it, and just watch.
No Jeffrey Simmons last night for the Tennessee Titans, but everybody else went to work, including Harold Landry, coming off the edge right here and just harassing Tua. They all did. Autry and Weaver right there. And he can't get the ball out of his hands right there to his rookie running back, Achane. So you watch this right here, and it was just one big stop after another. Like right here on 3rd and 3, is it a touchdown or is it a field goal? And here comes Arden Key around the outside. And then he goes down. Watch this. Is this a feeding frenzy? You guys like to get to the quarterback or what? I mean, they all get there once, right? Alshire, Autry, Landry, Key. And then you watch this right here. And here's Arden Key just coming off the edge right here. All right? And Tua is just going to go down. Tight end tried to come over there, couldn't get to him. And then these twist stunts started coming. At the end of the game, 13-13 in the 4th quarter, Arden Key, there it is. He comes around the corner. Here comes Landry to come finish. And Tua couldn't get away. And then this one right here. This one, 28-27. That stunt worked so good. 26 seconds to go in the game. Here's that stunt again. And Landry getting right in front of Tua. Hands up. Can't see over him. Landry finishes it with a hat trick. The front went to work. Harassed Tua all night long. No touchdown passes. Did a great job. Tight.
All right, so you watched that full through. I didn't stop it. I'm going to stop it now. I'm going to turn off the volume on this so I can talk to you and show you some things with this video, because this video is going to basically tell you a lot that you probably didn't focus on when you're watching the game. It's a perfect breakdown of the offensive line, and it's an even bigger microscope onto what Tua is doing. All right, so let me see if I can get this queued up. All right, so there's Tua. He's back. He's ready to take the snap. And here comes a snap. Guy goes in motion. Okay. Everyone kept harping on the guys. It was the non-starters. It was an offensive line that wasn't that good. Everybody knows that 73 on that as you're facing this 73 where number 58 is. Everybody knows that's Austin Jackson. That's a starter. That's a guy who they've been saying has been playing fantastic this year. Getting all kinds of awards. Just signed a big contract extension. So he's a good guy. He's one of our top offensive linemen. He's not a scrub. Watch what happens here. Guy comes in. He ducks in. He's underneath Austin Jackson right now. But what you probably didn't see, and what I want to show you quicker, hold on, because what this offensive line has been trained to do, watch Tua first. Let's watch Tua first. Guy goes in motion. There's a snap. Boom. Tua has taken his two-step drop, his normal 2.25 seconds. He's ready right now to get rid of the ball. That's what Mike McDaniel has said, 2.25 seconds. That's what Eli Manning has said. That's what Peyton Manning has said. That's what Drew Brees has said. Right now, this play, whoever he's looking at, probably going to be Tyreek over there, he needs to have this ball. His next movement needs to be get rid of it. Watch what happens. He didn't get rid of it. Pulled it down. That ball's down now. And now it's too late. Whatever the coverage was on that play, it caused Tua not to be able to basically fire in 2.25 seconds. The offensive line has been trained. Hey, just hold him out for 2.5 seconds. Tua's going to get rid of the ball. It's not going to be there. So you're going to be fine. So Austin Jackson, in basically doing his play here, he pushes the guy outside. And I guarantee you at this point, Austin Jackson expects that this ball is going to be out. He doesn't expect that Tua is still going to be holding on to it. See, I'm way outside here. Tua, right now, you're in a position to throw it. Austin Jackson, AJ is like, hey, I think I'm pretty good. This guy's, coming after Tua, but he should be getting rid of the ball any millisecond. He doesn't, and now you got a guy coming in for a sack. Notice that Tua was within the tackle box. So right now, you really can't throw it away because there would be intentional grounding. Defenses know that. Mike keeps him in the tackle box. He's got to eat it right then and there. If he doesn't throw it, he's going to eat it. And so, boom, he goes right down. There, he tries to get rid of it. Good throwaway. But he had to get rid of the ball. So that's not a bad pass. He's like, I can't take the sack. All right, next play. I mean, because some people looked at it as a bad throw. It wasn't a bad throw. I'm just trying to get rid of the ball so we don't take a sack. All right, play didn't work. Now, again, here we go. You can see Austin Jackson to the right, Liam Eichenberg in the middle. Tua is going to get the ball. This is really telling. Takes that step, 2 steps back, boom. Any other game, this is what Eli Manning and Peyton Manning were talking about. Right now, his next movement, that ball should be gone. He's expecting to take a 2.5 second drop and throw that ball. It's out of his hands. But look what happens. Oops, it's not there. I got to pull it down. Play's over. At that point, you can see it clearly. He came back. I'm ready to throw. Oh, shit, it's not there. I'm within the tackle box. I don't have anybody I can throw it to. I got to pull it down. The offensive line, this is where people lie to you and say the offensive line collapsed. Look at that offensive line. Look at it. He's fine. There is no problem right there. They've got the guys held up. It's because he had to pull it down, and then when he pulled it down, now he's taking his look at his second receiver. That guy's covered. Now it's like serious oh shit. And now I'm going to try and get out of here. That period of time that Tua took is normally a completion, or at least he's thrown it. And now the offensive line, you can still look. They're up there. You can see Eichenberg's number. You can see 66. And he's trying to, I'm going to fall down. Nowhere to go. Couldn't throw it in 2.3, 2.4 seconds. All right, so he goes down. And then, of course, everybody comes after him. Next play. This is what people don't want you to see, don't want you to look at. Here's Tua. He motions for whoever's going to come running across, and same thing happens. Here comes the motion guy. Tua's going to take his normal 2-3 steps. Boom. Right there. That normally means the ball's gone. There's nobody around him. That's why he's been so fast in getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds or whatever that number is. He's planted. He's ready to throw. Oh, shit, there's nobody there. I'm looking at my second read. There's nobody there. And now I'm in deep shit trouble. Offensive line has been doing what they've been doing all year. You're seeing what happens when somebody takes his reads away and there's no place to go on that first trigger, and now you're dead meat. You're absolutely dead meat at this point. Next play. To his back. Looks like we're going to focus on AJ again here. Watch him come back and take his normal steps. Boom. Right there. Offensive line holds the team out. That ball's got to be out of there. He's used to being, everyone watching this video tonight understands Tua has been throwing in 2-point-something seconds. What happens when, and Eli Manning said, you put that plant foot down, boom, there's your plant foot. The next movement, that ball should be out. That's what Tua has been taught. That next movement, that ball should be out. Look at the linemen. They're far enough away now where they've done their job according to the offense that Mike has schemed out. But now what happens when it's not there? Oh, shit, I can't throw it. Now I can't throw it. I got to pull it down. And now my offensive line is breaking down because they're used to me throwing. Can you see that? If he had thrown that in that 2-second window, there would have been no sack. But now it's like, oh, shit, what do I do? I'm going to get crushed again. This is systemic. You're not going to change this in 1 week. All right, line up again. There's Tua. These are all different plays, by the way. This isn't the same play being run. But watch. He's going to take his stance. Comes back. 1, 2. Right there, that ball should be gone. That's what they've been doing all year long. 2-step drop, fire it out. Offensive line, again, everyone's lying to you when they say the offensive line is causing problems. They're not. This is what they were trained to do. Hey, I just need you to hold these guys off for a couple of seconds and nobody will ever touch Tua. But when Tua has to, boom, he's looking for a second guy, his feet are moving, and he has to pull it down. Done. Now things start getting hairy. Right now, there's still nobody near him, and the guy right in front of him is going to eat him up. I don't know if anyone has shown this to you in this way. This is something that's pretty wild. I think that's pretty much it for that. And they just put Tua on his butt. So if anyone is telling you that the offensive line crapped out, no, the offensive line crapped out in April. Mike McDaniel sat down and said, I got an idea, Butch Barry, the offensive line coach. I'm going to have Tua throw this ball every single play in under 2.5 seconds. We're going to design it. He's 2.5 seconds. That's all they got to do. Just give me 3 seconds and we'll be fine. Whatever lineman you guys put up there, you do this, give me 3 seconds. We're going to be fine. Okay, I think I can pretty much get anybody to do that, Mike. How are you going to do it? Because by the time 3 seconds expires, Tua's throwing to Tyreek on a wheel route or to Jalen coming through. He's getting rid of the ball. My offense is designed for a 2-step drop plant throw. I don't want him having to make something happen. Boom, 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 2 steps, throw the ball. What you saw with the Tennessee Titans is he came back, he planted, and it was like, oh shit, what do I do now? That guy, whoever I'm looking at, if it was Tyreek, is not open. So on the flip side, you got defenses going, hey, listen, they've highly publicized the fact that Tua has the fastest release in the NFL. He's getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds or less, and he's not getting sacked. And I'm a defensive coordinator. Well, if I make him pull the ball down, if I make him pull the ball down and hesitate, then things are probably going to break down. Yep, That's exactly what happened.
There you have it. You have just been shown proof that you have been lied to by local reporters and Dolphins YouTubers. You just saw for yourself that the league now knows Mike McDaniel's kryptonite. The league now knows how to stop Mike McDaniel's offense. You can continue to buy into the offensive line crap, but all that shows that you bought into propaganda. Does this mean that the Jets and any other team can beat the Miami Dolphins? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that at all. You still have to have the personnel in order to execute it, and you better execute it flawlessly, or Tyreek and Tua are going to burn you. The Dolphins' offense remains extremely powerful. They can strike at any moment. So all this means is that Mike McDaniel has to adjust accordingly, and he needs to adjust quickly. The next chess move is his to make. Let's hope he's got some more genius up his sleeves. And maybe some of you may want to stop buying into everything you hear from local reporters and Dolphins YouTubers because they're just telling you what you want to hear. It seems that objectivity has gone completely out the window. So go ahead, bring it, and let me hear the comments. I'm sure I'm going to get them, but I'm telling you, and you just saw with your own eyes, what's going on with the Miami Dolphins offense. Oh, that and no friggin' tight end. So let me know what you think. I'm sure I'm going to get flamed in the comments as usual. Obviously, that's what people do because they don't want to believe the truth. But, bring it. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?